Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the Go Mango Herocast. I'm your host of Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have...
The Cinder Blaze.
Strange words.
And Makotoa.
Boys, welcome back to this dead show. On this episode, we're going to be reviewing Thor Ragnarok. We have all just seen it in the... What did you guys think?
Oh my god.
Why don't we go... Who wants to go first? Who liked it? I'll raise my hand. I enjoyed it.
I liked it a whole lot. I
liked it.
Gosh, it was a real fun one. I mean, that's the word that I think is going around a lot, is fun.
Yeah.
The best word is fun rather than anything close to a spectacle like some of the other Marvel movies.
I don't know. I
that.
feel like the spectacle was still there. We had a matchup between Thor and Hulk. And
we also saw Hulk go not Hulk, but Thor unleash his lightning powers finally. Him going.
Oh, finally! That's the thing that
that
everyone was
later.
expecting to happen.
I mean, expected or not, I absolutely loved that part.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, if only he used it, in a meaningful way instead of just hitting fodder.
What?
I mean,
that's how you always
beat up Hela, but
yeah,
that didn't really work.
Yeah, and that one shot where they kind of moved the camera away from the shot of her actually hitting her. But
yeah.
Adding on to your guys' point about this movie being super fun, I feel like Thor and Loki, especially out of the entire Marvel cast, have been put in the weirdest situations and have the ability to be put in the weirdest situations because of who they are, and they poke fun at that this entire damn movie, and I love that part of it. All those jokes they nailed pretty damn well.
Because they're brothers. It's great.
Yeah, they actually did feel like brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So I really did appreciate that part. The characters were really good in this.
Yeah, no, definitely. Even the new characters. Hela was, oh my goodness, incredible. I loved Hela.
I loved Hela as a villain.
The moment she hit the screen, her presence, I was just floored.
Okay, I liked her as a villain. I liked her without the helmet, but the biggest thing that just rankles me is just the way that she used her powers. Just felt kind of meh a lot of the time for me.
I don't know, she was overpowered when she had to be, but not when she needed
No,
to.
No, not the scale of power. The way that her powers are used, because it's oh man, blade creation and using them real well, and I'm just you could make it a bit flashier, a bit more interesting.
That's true, but at some points I saw the effects kind of fart out on us, whenever she'd pull her hair up into the horns, right?
Mm-hmm.
She'd move her head, a bit, a tiny bit, and the head dress wasn't tracked properly, so it just kind of stuttered or stayed in place when it shouldn't have. I don't know. It was a little weird for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for that there was definitely budget. Sorry, Michael. Budget. There's definitely budget issues.
I don't think that's the case. It was probably just somebody's mess up.
Hey, you know that classic game, Budget?
Shut up. This is why we get nowhere in these.
I want to talk about the colors for a second, because everything just looked so vibrant, and I feel like that's by virtue of the setting and the characters that we had on the war world or whatever. Well, just everything was so in-your-face colorful, and I kind of loved it.
Well, that was for that location only, and that's how the world was supposed to look. It's supposed to be this chaotic, just distant planet with crazy-ass ruler.
Alright, so this surprised me. I just looked this up just now. Thor Ragnarok had the most budget out of all the Thor movies.
Out of all the Thor movies.
And it had more, let's see, 180 million. Avengers, for comparison, had 220 million. So,
oh wow,
it's pretty up there.
Yeah. I mean,
it's probably just
I don't know why, but I feel like they made a pretty big push for this movie. Like, they, up to this point, they haven't given Thor movies too much thought. And now they want to go weirder. Ever since DC came on the scene with BVS, everyone was like, oh, okay, we've gone a little bit too far in the dark direction. I mean, the same could kind of be said for Civil War, but I feel like the direction is being pushed not ever so slightly, but like way into the fun direction, and Thor Ragnarok is kind of like the best representation of that so far.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that was the clear intention, just to have fun with these characters.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it always worked for the movie's benefit, because there were parts where I can't pick out a specific part where it was too much, but I just feel like there were scenes that were stifled just for a joke. You know what I mean?
I think it was like when Thor and Loki were in that elevator and they're like,
oh, let's do Get Help.
Yeah, Get Help. That was just for that punchline. It worked, but it was just there for the joke.
Yeah, well, really... like
I loved it. Not gonna lie, that was great.
It's a fun.
Oh yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
And honestly,
I'm kind of sad I had it spoiled by YouTube or something, or like a trailer.
Let Michael talk. Jeez.
Oh.
Honestly, I think of any of the big hitting IPs that are under Marvel's belt right now, Thor, the Thor franchise or series is the one that they could take this kind of risk to try and rejuvenate it, because it seems like of all the ones out there, Thor was kind of under the radar. People weren't as interested. They didn't really break any records when they came out. So for them to go a different direction, take a risk, and, you know, if nobody actually was super crazy invested in the way that the movies were then with that specific tone, they could take liberties with this one and see what sticks. And I think what they did was a whole lot better than us getting another Dark World where it was like kind of, you know, dark and muddy and not as entertaining overall. Like, I don't even remember what the premise of that movie was, but I can tell Thor Ragnarok is going to stick with me for a while.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not that I didn't like having that much fun in a movie. It's just that in terms of, like, you know, like long term, I feel like it would have been a little nice if they could have reeled it back for some moments. Like some really cool moments felt like they were stifled just because, like, hey, we want to throw in a joke here to make it look funny. You know what's funny? Getting hit in the face with a ball.
There was one specific like part where I was like, yeah, that was a little bit too far. And I was talking about it earlier, but I might as well bring it up. And that is at the end when they're whatever you would call it, like a planet or something, is literally about to explode, and then we have the Rock dude like make a comment. And it's like
we can rebuild.
As long as the foundations are there, we can.
That was really funny, though.
That was like, joke off.
It was pretty funny, but like at the same time, they just lost their home planet. Like,
well, I mean, like they have this whole speech about like, it's not Helheim. What is the word?
Asgard.
Yeah. Asgard. Asgard isn't a place, it's with its people. And I feel like, you know, with that, I was fine letting it blow up. It does have a lot of emotional ties to them, but, you know.
I mean, of all the parts that could have really used, like, a more somber moment, I think that one deserved a little bit more. But
I don't know. I think they did well in the scene where, you know, Loki arrives at Thor's room toward the end of it, and he's like, hey, you look a lot like Dad, or like, no, hey, it suits you. And he's like, oh, I wish you were here, tosses a thing, and he catches it. That was really good.
That was nice.
They decided not to do a joke, and it really worked. it hit that emotional tone that emotional beat that I was looking for out of a few more of those scenes.
Yeah, it's so weird because like after this movie, I really feel like Loki's an ally, but I know he's not. But I feel like he is, and that's gonna really break my heart during Avengers because I'm pretty sure he's gonna backstab someone.
Yeah, I did like that part where Thor like talked to Loki about it. He's like, "You'll always be the trickster, but you could be so much more."
Yeah.
You know, I love that part.
Yeah, but like, what power is he gonna channel? Because he's not like part of Odin's lineage. It's not like he's gonna get a power up unless he goes like full.
For some
Frost
reason,
Giant.
he can still, form change.
Yeah.
Or shapeshift.
And now he has the cube again.
Yeah.
The mind
yeah, probably.
cube.
He looked at it.
He definitely has it, bro. He definitely has it.
They need it for Age of Ultron. Or not Age of Ultron, for Infinity War. But I feel like when he looked at the Tesseract, I thought he was gonna like use the power a little bit and just like make this giant ass like illusion to make it look like Asgard is getting destroyed and kind of like force Hela away from it so they can like beat her in like a different dimension or something. You know, like on Earth. I don't think Earth would be suitable, but it's like the only other place, honestly.
Well, no, it has to be Earth, New York.
Okay.
Because that's where all the action
be Norway.
is in the Marvel universe.
That one place where their father was.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Best cameo we've seen in a Marvel movie. Doctor Strange. Holy crap. I love that scene so much.
Yeah.
Best.
I enjoyed it not just because, like, this could have easily been shoehorned. You know, this could have easily just have been nothing useful. And I mean, technically it wasn't necessary, but it felt more like they're rounding out the universe and like explaining things rather than just shoehorning him in for the sake of having him in there.
It made sense to me because he's like now the protector of the realm, and so he's got to check in with whatever foreigners come to visit, you know.
Right.
Yeah, and he kind of did make sure that everything was, good on Earth because all of the conflicts were in different realms. If you think about it. Like, Earth was kind of left completely out of it, and I guess, like, Thor and the Asgardians are on their way, but...
That's later.
I really like Doctor Strange's, like, role in this, and just, he's
a wizard.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's great.
Can we talk about another dope supporting character?
One last thing for Doctor Strange, though. I feel really, really bad when Thor's like, "Hey, Mjolnir, come over to me." And it just starts breaking through a bunch of stuff. I'm like, I wonder how badly things are gonna go after he leaves.
Oh.
It's nothing that Doctor Strange can't clean up.
That house
he's got the time thing now, right?
No, it's off limits. It's Moto.
He's caused somebody to go back and become alive again. So
no.
Yeah.
What?
Bad.
Yeah,
Bad.
the Chinese dude.
What are we talking about?
Doctor Strange. Anyways.
Okay.
We can go on to your supporting character because I see that you're not engaged with Doctor Strange.
Oh, no, I mean, like, it was great.
I see.
Valkyrie was awesome. Valkyrie's amazing.
Okay.
I mean, I liked Hela more than I liked Valkyrie, but Valkyrie was still pretty cool.
Yeah. I feel like I can't judge Hela properly just because I thought she was pretty. And so I was just like, you know what, any like thoughts I would have would just be, completely biased. But I think
I'm not going to deny that is.
She brought more to the character than I think was given through dialogue, just with her presence as an actress.
How does Thor somehow manage to get some of the best villains?
I'm not. I don't know.
I wouldn't say Hela's a good villain.
Hela wasn't a very strong villain, honestly.
Well, great character. Okay. I don't know. I liked her. Like, the presence she had in each scene. She just stole each scene.
She had good presentation. It's just that the rest of things around her was just all the stuff around her was just kind of eh.
She had, like, empty presence. Like, you felt her there, but, like, there was nothing beyond that. You know, like she was just like the center of a scene that meant nothing.
I don't know.
And-
I think it's just because a lot of her kind of backstory was given in exposition rather than actual like us seeing what was happening.
We did kind of see it, and
that was more for
like,
what happened
that
to
was
Valkyrie, and that was amazing, by the way. That was like super cool looking.
Yeah,
the little
that was pretty. No, but I was talking about the paintings.
oh, the paintings.
Yeah.
Yeah, that helped.
Yo,
Oh,
it's
okay.
hella funny that like the Asgardians are Byzantine now.
Did you just say that's hella
Are-
funny?
Are you?
Shut
Yeah. Are
up.
you? Is this like a 2-layered joke here? You
No,
said Ask
I'm
Guardians
just
and
from
then hella
NorCal, so
funny.
it just slipped.
Continue.
Yeah, I found it kind of funny that they were like Byzantine now, even though that's not even remotely close to anything Nordic. But moving aside from that,
the
little halo
sun
around
things.
Odin.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm gonna just throw out like one of my major gripes of this movie right now because I feel like it'll make it easier to talk about like both halves of this movie. I feel like there was 2 movies going on in Ragnarok.
Yes.
Yes.
One was Thor
Yes.
versus Hulk, and it's kind of more like a Hulk story if I kind of
Yeah.
like think about it for
Yeah.
that half. And then there was Thor Ragnarok, and I feel like Thor Ragnarok was the weaker half of those 2 movies, and that really pissed me off
Because like it definitely sort of tried to weave its way into the chunk of it, but it definitely came back at the end.
I agree and I
It
disagree.
tried.
I mean, about Alex's point.
Yeah.
I don't agree that the Hulk part was stronger than the Thor part, but I do.
Oh, you don't think the Hulk part is stronger than Thor?
For sure.
Wait, strongest Avenger.
That doesn't
Strongest
make sense.
Avenger.
Yeah.
So,
Yo, side note, that one scene with Hulk walking in naked.
Oh my
Oh, man.
gosh.
I did
Oh
not
my
know.
Gosh,
that
I
was-
didn't think they'd go there. I didn't think they'd go there, man.
I feel so bad for Thor.
no.
I have to give props to Chris Hemsworth for his performance in this movie because he
Yeah.
sold
Yeah.
all of
and
those
and not
reaction
just
scenes.
that, not just that. He was acting against nothing. Well, probably, you know.
I don't know. Maybe they just shot a gigantic. I don't know. Like
Oh yeah,
Cool
whip
movie
out
or
a gigantic penis for the filming of this, just so that he'd have something to go by.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Not an act. Just something to give an example. Anyways. But okay.
Probably
my
cut down
response-
a tree from outside and used a tree. Anyway,
Okay,
here's
my thoughts, Michael, on why the Hulk movie was better than the Thor movie and the Thor movie. Okay, in my opinion, Thor Ragnarok was more of a comedy, and the Hulk part was way more funny.
what?
The Hulk part was way more fun.
Say it again, but dumber.
Okay,
I'm not getting it.
okay, this movie's meant to make you laugh. I laughed more during the Hulk part.
Yeah, that's because the
Okay.
Hulk part lasted longer, and that was also another thing about like why I felt the Ragnarok part of this movie was so weak was because it was barely Ragnarok. It was like a majority of the movie was them trying to escape from there, and by the time they did, you know, Ragnarok was basically over, and
Well,
like
no, it
all
hadn't
the
started yet.
No, yeah, they caused Ragnarok, but that was like the fact that it was the prologue and the addendum to the
No, like
Hulk
by
versus
Ragnarok,
Thor
I don't
movie.
mean like the actual, you know, destruction of Asgard. I mean like everything leading up to and everything.
No, that's what I meant, because like they set it up at the beginning, did an entirely different movie toward the center, like in the center, and then ended with Thor Ragnarok. Right, because they set up the guy that's gonna destroy Asgard, and then at the end, did we say this is a spoiler review?
I was thinking that, but I didn't want to mention it.
You just put
so
it in
it
your
was-
title. Jeez.
Yeah.
No. Oh, they're gonna figure it out once.
Oh man, I totally
That's up
heard
to
that.
them.
So I've been trying. I've been meaning to like clarify this because going off of Alex's point about how there's kind of two conflicting stories going, or maybe not conflicting, but two stories
Sure.
going on between Hulk and Thor. Something that I learned by watching some interviews with some of the actors, especially the actor of Hulk. He actually said that he was asked at one point, if you wanted a Hulk movie, what would you want it to be about? And he kind of fleshed it all out, and they said, well, I mean, obviously, or maybe it's not obvious, and some people don't know that Hulk's rights aren't fully Marvel's, so they're not actually allowed to make another Hulk standalone movie for the cinematic universe. So what they actually have kind of gone and done was do a little loophole where that particular story that Hulk is having is going to be spread out through 3 or 4 different movies. And that's how they're kind of getting around it. So it's intentional that Hulk having this sort of plot line coming into this movie, there's a reason for that.
Right,
I don't know if that helps, but
just because they built it that way doesn't make it any less like eyebrow raising.
I found it totally
if
fine.
If you said, "Hey, I made this pie. It's supposed to smell and taste like poop." So judge it based on that. I'm still gonna say it tastes like crap.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think
it's no excuse. Like,
right?
despite,
I mean,
like,
I'm not saying that this movie was crap. I'm just saying that if you built it that way, I'm going to question why that was even a thing to begin with. I have heard that, yes, they do want to have an overarching Hulk story throughout a couple of films, but this, I don't think they balanced it well. Even though that was the intent, I don't necessarily agree with the final product.
Yeah, and like the thing that really griped me was because like Ragnarok is supposed to be something pretty important to Thor's character. I feel like out of the entire trilogy, this is going to be the most defining one for his character.
Yeah, his dad died.
Yeah, and the way they did that was kind of
oh yeah, spoilers again.
Yeah, it was a bit like forced, just like, oh, now Odin's dying. I'm fine with that, honestly. Given like the whole tone they set in the beginning of the movie, it felt kind of like natural, like, Odin just disappearing and him like accepting that it was his time and stuff like that. That part was fine, but we didn't really like flesh out Thor and his relationship to the Asgardians. Like when he would be getting like all these not flashbacks, but when Odin would just like appear into his mind, it would just be like, oh, I'm giving you the message of the movie. It's not like Asgard isn't a place, it's a people and stuff like that. I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Why would we even like think that at this point? That's just like you're just giving us the answer to the movie. It's not something that Thor has to really, work for and actually deal with. Like, he didn't interact with any Asgardians except for that one black dude.
Heimdall.
Yeah, and like his friends from the previous movies, hell, just straight up waltzed in and killed them.
That was the part
they
that
were just
bothered
there.
me, like, about the movie, was the fact that they kind of just got completely shafted right out of the gate, and there was little to no explanation. No, there was literally no explanation. If you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't even have noticed that those guys were from the previous movies as like his sort of band of friends. And Thor never even mentions it either. Like, he's never like, oh, where are they at? And then one of them,
he didn't even hold up the two halves of their body and say, "Oh, jazz."
I'm pretty sure he'd be too busy getting killed at that point.
You want a piece of me?
Give me your face. Well, what else do you guys want to talk about for this movie? Should we talk about the Rock Man?
There's only one thing I really want to touch on regarding actual Ragnarok.
Ooh, touch it.
In mythology, this is a way, way bigger event. And over here, it's kind of just like, yeah, alright. Give this guy thing. He gets big.
This was a really anticlimactic movie. Like, even with Asgard, like, exploding, it still didn't feel like
Yeah,
anything.
it didn't feel like
Well,
actual Ragnarok. It felt more like, okay, let's end this movie with an explosion. There we go.
I think it's because of the tone of the majority of the movie.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
very comedic, and so there wasn't enough gravity to kind of make it feel like it was something super incredibly valuable that was lost.
But there was already a Marvel film that was able to balance the comedy and the emotion this year, I think. Yeah, Guardians 2. I feel like that did just about perfect.
I didn't watch Guardians 2, so
Oh.
I can't really put my input into that.
Some would say
Star-Lord dies at the... No.
Spoiler 2 No,
some would say that it is the least balanced for
Really?
comedy.
it's okay. We're talking about the Ragnarok. It's let's not get into other movie reviews here.
Okay, alright, I just thought that...
I mean, it wasn't nearly as tragic as Fan 4 Stick, but
Oh my God.
Why
Okay,
are we?
no,
why
that was
What?
a tragedy.
Hold
Only
on.
for another
where,
reason, but-
where are we going?
Let's go on to the highlight of the movie, which is the comedy, man.
The committee.
Committee.
The committee.
A committee of funny characters
Jeff
featuring
Goldblum.
Rockman.
oh yeah, as a Grandmaster.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we didn't really talk about like this arc too much. But let's just like jump into the
Yo,
Or-
why was there a Disney ride at the beginning of Thor's adventures there? that was playing an American song. Also, by the way, this
was
made me
playing the song
raise
from
my
Willy Wonka,
eyebrow.
That's what it was playing.
yeah,
Right,
that took me
yeah,
out of the
yeah.
movie for a second. I
It
hated
did.
that part. Like,
But when I was leaving, I thought to myself, "Hey, wait a second.
Isn't that?
Hold on here." So in Doctor Strange and various other movies in the Marvel universe set on Earth, there are tons of different languages. People speak different languages
Uh-huh.
around the world, right?
Yeah.
And they even made a new language for the Black Panther
Uh-huh.
and his home.
Yeah.
But why is everyone speaking English in the universe?
Star-Lord.
Thor's a god, so he probably understands it all.
Right? No,
yeah, but he's also one of the most stupidest gods, so you can't give him too much credit.
the most
Loki, I would-
stupidest.
No. It's just an auto translator, so it just doesn't matter if he's dumb as a brick. The communication works both ways. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not gonna.
That's not
No,
something.
beyond
yeah, I
just
mean,
don't.
it's
Like that-
really nitpicky, but like,
You're right.
You
It's
know,
really
they
nitpicky.
put-
Let's move on. No.
look,
Agreed. No.
but like there was a rock dude with an Australian accent.
That was
Oh.
incredible.
I'd like to point out he's
New
part of
Zealand.
the Nine Realms, which they rule over in Asgard. So it makes a lot more sense that Thor would understand him.
Yeah, and like the Grandmaster could be from Earth, for all we know about.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could just be some like
Nah,
old
I
ass
don't
wizard
think
and
they
just
are.
taught everyone English on this planet. So yeah, if you need an explanation, there it is. It's not like 100% false.
We're
Well,
not
you
going
guys-
to try and make one because there's no real point. Anyways.
Did
Oh,
you,
yeah.
the left hand woman from for Jeff Goldblum's like character, right?
You mean the right hand one?
Oh yeah.
The
No,
Helga.
apparently
the right hand woman was Valkyrie. The left hand
No,
woman.
No,
she
right hand was
wasn't.
the lady with the melting stick.
No.
No, she was.
When
there
they
are
were
multiple
both
occasions-
standing near each other, when they were both standing on the sides, Valkyrie was on the right, she was on the left.
She was on our right.
No,
She
no,
was
no,
on
but-
our right,
but-
but his. She was on our right, his right.
Ah, frick.
And on top of that, when Jeff Goldblum was talking to both Loki and Valkyrie, the lady with melt stick was standing to his right.
Yeah, that's the point we just made, where
Okay.
she was on his right.
Oh no, there was I thought you guys were talking about the other point
No.
where she brought Thor in
No. Anyways.
I was
because she was also on the left.
Anyway.
I was gonna say she looks like the school principal from Matilda, and
that is
That-
that is true.
like immediately I
What
was
is
like, she's like
Matilda?
the school principal from Matilda now, and except she's now.
Who?
It's a classic movie.
Yeah.
It was- yeah.
Anyways, we're getting off track.
I want to kind of talk about Hulk's little like tantrum. I think that was kind of cute and funny.
And then Bruce Banner's tantrum kind of thing. Or when he was like, when they were both sulking.
Oh my goodness.
No, I like you better.
Like Hulk's always like smashed.
I've always liked you more. You know, science.
Good stuff. Good joke.
Yo.
Sun's getting low. The sun's getting real low. Stop saying that.
You just want to get through me to get to Hulk. Something like that. Yeah.
No. Never. I like you better.
Oh my god.
But if I'm being honest, the Hulk would be.
Oh, we haven't even talked about like
The
probably one of the best moments with like comedic moments with Hulk or Bruce Banner both was when he jumped off of like the
Oh.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh.
Just ate it. Like
Absolutely destroyed.
Part of me wishes there was a scene where he did, jump down all cool and stuff, but that was too good. It
was another one of the. It was totally like mocking that moment in the Avengers where he's like, "Yeah, Cap, I'm always mad," or something, like that was
my
totally
secret.
it.
I'm always angry.
Yeah, he's like, "You'll see," or something. Oh,
and then just...
Usually it feels like both of us have one hand on the wheel, but these past 2 years it felt like I was in the trunk while he was driving like a madman.
Yeah, I feel like Banner died in that scene.
You think so? You think he's dead? You think he legit died there and now it's just the Hulk?
No.
Alright,
the Hulk preserved him.
Rest in pieces,
Usually Hulk means that he can't die, but there's been some interesting situations where Banner has been dead, but Hulk hasn't been dead because of, comic books. Yeah.
Right.
Oh my god.
Oh, I do want to touch on one of my favorite parts of the movie, favorite aspects of the movie. The cute little budding friendship between Valkyrie and Hulk.
Oh yeah.
And then subsequently those moments they had like, I feel like I know you. I feel like I know you too.
That's great.
And
That's great.
And apparently I don't know if I'm getting my facts straight here, but I think Valkyrie and Hulk used to be part of the Defenders along with Doctor Strange. So it was kind of having all three of them together, sort of a throwback
There you go.
to when they were all on that team together.
That's neat. But
Yeah.
Okie doke.
Yeah.
Post-credit scene.
what?
Oh.
We didn't talk about Thor versus Hulk.
Well, it was a good action scene. Game over. Eric.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It there were some genuine moments where I went, "Oh!"
Yeah.
There were enough of those.
So how... I love the part where Loki's like, "That's how it feels."
Yeah, like that by far was probably my favorite part of that fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they actually just felt like brothers just messing with each other. Like I could feel the enjoyment that Loki was having in that fight.
There was one time when we were kids, I used to like snakes and he turned into a snake.
That was great.
Then I picked it up to enjoy the snake. And
Apparently a lot
To
of
admire the snake.
Apparently a lot of the comedic stuff like that was kind of ad lib from what I was hearing. So for that, like I bet
really?
I bet that one it sounded like really it wasn't manufactured. It sounded like that was something that
Genuine?
he like came up with or something on the spot.
Yeah, like the way he delivered it, especially.
Yeah.
When he turned back, he's like, he stabbed me. Like the setting they have that joke into.
It's me. And then he stabbed. And then Loki when he smiles and like, oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Surprise. Oh, that great scene where he was like getting electrocuted. It was just like, I'll leave this right over here for you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was actually
Boy.
concerned. I thought he wouldn't be there for the rest of the movie. Like, that legitimately scared me.
Well, the thing eventually runs out of charge, so he'd show up
Right,
eventually.
No, he
How
might
do
have
you
showed
feel
up in
about
like
Thor
the
losing-
post-credit scene, and that would have sucked.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think it would have been better than.
do you know who showed up in the post-credit scene?
I barely remember.
A
'Cause-
big
Boy, neither
ship.
do I.
A big
It's
ship.
yeah, it was a ship.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like we're.
Freaking huge.
I'm
ship.
assuming it's the purple dude.
You think it's
I'm not
Thanos?
sure about Thanos.
Yeah, Thanos.
It's supposed to be a ship,
No.
like
Yeah,
the backside
Thanos
of a
is
ship.
Honestly,
weird.
I think it might be because he is on his search for the Infinity Stones, and
Yeah,
guess
and outside of Black Panther, that's the only other movie
Like,
coming up next.
Loki has the Mind Stone again now.
Wait, no. Vision still has it, unless I missed something.
Or sorry, Mind. What's the one? The
Real. Wait,
It's like space or power, some one of those.
reality space.
Tesseract is space. It
Okay.
should be space.
Right. Yes, he has that one.
Okay, so time,
So
mind,
Oh,
that's,
power.
I think
that's my guess.
one more thing I think we really talked about too much, mostly because I feel like we haven't convinced Corey otherwise.
What?
Hela was an awful villain.
What?
I don't
like,
think so. I don't think so. So you're gonna have to convince me too.
well, first of all, she was a villain for Thor Ragnarok, and we barely had that movie.
Okay.
So
Okay. But
Like-
what we got of that movie, she did pretty well. I mean, she
She-
took up most of that movie.
she
Well,
provided
okay,
little
taking up
threat.
most of a movie doesn't mean that she was a good villain.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying there was plenty of screen time for her, and I thought that like, you know, sometimes villains don't get a lot of backstory or anything, and she got plenty of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the backstory was handled poorly because like Thor didn't really have to think about it too much. It just kind of happened at the last,
Mm-hmm.
like in the climax.
Well, he did think about it. His whole goal was to get out of
but the
get
thing
out
is-
of the war world and go straight into the devil's anus.
Oh.
Yeah, and then once he got into Asgard, you know, Odin just made the thoughts for him and just fed it to him. Like that didn't really feel like Thor actually had like the character changes. I felt like he was just
What?
he was having his own journey in the Thor versus Hulk, and then this kind of just was tacked on at the end, and it's like, oh, well, we didn't really finish this movie, or we didn't properly develop it all the way, so let's just thrust it in there.
That was the classic Lion King moment where he gets guidance from his dead father.
Yeah,
Oh, I
and
didn't
then
find
he
it.
has to lead the herd.
Yeah.
But this isn't the Lion King.
I
It felt so like
You're not the Lion King.
will say that like a lot of her information was exposition where she was kind of talking to the bald dude who she recruited, and so that kind of
Oh
like,
yeah, Bones.
Scourge.
Scourge.
No, Bones.
Scourge, I know.
And then
Bones.
And then the other thing was that Thor was not there to hear it all. Like he got the gist of it at the beginning when he had to fight her at the before they like he fell off into the gladiator world. But for most of that exposition where you're learning about her backstory, Thor never heard any of that.
Yeah, but he got all caught up when he looked at the drawings on the ceiling. You know, they speak a different language. You said it yourself.
By the nature
You must have read it all.
Yeah, by the by the nature of how the movie worked, where Thor, his part in the movie was making it back to the villain. Like he didn't. It wasn't like multiple different interactions with the villain before the final climax. It was one at the very beginning, then he climbs a mountain to try and get back, and then one at the very end. And I see how that can pretty much cause problems, but with what they were given, the way the story was kind of structured, I think they couldn't have done a much better job with it. Like,
yeah, but that's no excuse for it to be that way. Mostly because this was marketed as Thor Ragnarok. Like,
Hold on,
It was marketed with Hulk too.
we did make the Lion King comparison, and I feel like that does make a lot of sense. Just because
you're right.
like Simba took a long time
to get back.
Years. He spent most of his life with Timon and Pumbaa, and then he finally finds Nala to bring him back.
Yeah,
and
but like
it's kind of like that, a bit of a reversal, wherein he finds, his quote unquote Nala, and then brings her back.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that like structurally it is similar. We just spent a bit too much time with the Hulk.
Yeah, like Simba didn't have like some other Disney character cameo in his movie and kind of take half of his movie.
Right, but the thing is, like, Hela served pretty much the same purpose as Scar did, killing the dad. Well, she didn't kill the dad, but when he finally perished,
I wish I
things
had been
unfolded.
There to see it.
I mean,
she destroyed his hammer.
Semantic,
and that was.
If you go with semantic, she is the goddess of death, so
Yeah.
Responsible in an abstract sort of way. If you go off the strict, anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I really don't see the villain being that problematic, but my beliefs personally is that I think the whole, Marvel has a problem with its villains thing has been hyped up too much, and that it's really kind of, well, what kind of movie would you really get if the villain had so much screen time and so much attention? I like these movies in the sense that they focus more on the hero, and that the villain kind of becomes that foil for them, and it's more of a movie of hope or something entertaining or enjoyable or lighthearted than having it kind of get oversaturated with something more dark or upsetting. Like, I personally don't find that having and I don't know. Yeah, Thanos is gonna be great.
Thanos is gonna be real good.
We're like
Hey, don't say that. He could be awful.
Well,
okay.
the reason why he's gonna be great is because Infinity War is
we
much...
already know he's gonna be great.
Look, I'm giving it. I'm giving it that as my prediction because the way they're calling the movie is that it's going to be a heist movie focused on Thanos collecting the Infinity Stones.
Oh, what?
So he's literally going to be like...
Wait, no, but doesn't he... His sons are going to be prominently featured. I feel like they're going to be doing a lot of the footwork instead of him.
Thanos, from his stuff in comic books, isn't really one to get up and do things himself unless it's something really, really, really big. Because in Guardians, he was
Unless he's this dope mastermind that's pulling all this... really, he hasn't been doing much tangibly in this universe.
Thanos
isn't collecting the Infinity Stones for himself like what he said he was finally going to do in that one post-credit scene after Avengers 2?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but he hasn't interacted with anyone in this universe.
Yeah.
And it's kind of what...
No. He
talked to the Guardians guy.
No, he's the father of Gamora and Nebula.
Guardian Gals. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. Wrong gen.
Yeah, but we haven't seen any of the interactions in the movies. That also brings you back to, let's talk about Hela real quick.
Okay, yeah, please, because we are nearing 45 minutes.
Yeah, we'll cut it off soon.
Yeah. She didn't really interact with Thor and Loki as much. She's their sister, and their whole
I did want to see that dynamic.
Yeah.
And she felt like a throwaway villain. I'm just like, what? That's such a waste.
Or a throwaway villain.
Bad core. Anyways, the best way I can sum it up is you could have replaced Hela with any villain, really.
You could have replaced her with Red Skull, and it would have been the same exact movie.
What?
No, not Red Skull maybe, but any villain who's just really strong. That's all you need for Hela.
I feel like even though the familial ties weren't played up enough, I still think they were
barely touched.
Right. But I still feel like there is some emotional pull there.
No, there wasn't.
Thor had no
qualms about beating the shit out of his sister. And like we had no reason to care either because
it wasn't for me necessarily between Thor, Loki, and Hela. It was between Hela and Daddy Man.
Odin?
Odin! Yeah. That one. Odin.
We didn't get a flashback of them interacting.
Yeah, that's
no, but we got wall paintings.
No, we got wall paintings. That actually sums up. We got wall paintings.
She sold it in her dialogue.
Yeah, and
But
I don't know,
what did she
I
sell?
enjoyed
Like, she didn't do anything.
Her disdain for him. Like, she was talking about how, in the good old days, this is the way we used to do it, and we would just completely, like, soak our blades in the blood of our enemies. And then he got soft and wanted to actually have peace and stop at 9 realms.
Old people.
Yeah, but we didn't even get a
pretty
flashback
soft
of
people.
what happened back then.
Yeah.
Like, we had no reason to really care about that whatsoever.
Also, like, I didn't really see much of Odin being like, oh man, I feel so bad that this is going to be my daughter going to get murdered by my son. It was just like, I'm sorry, son, you've got to kill your sister now.
Really, I know you guys have more problems with her, but really the only problem I had is power scaling. Just because she took down all the Valkyries except for one in one fell swoop. But then here it took her a while to get some refugees, I guess.
Got some refugees, and not only that, she couldn't kill like Thor and Loki on their first encounter, which is kind of ridiculous when it's just like, oh yeah, she just crushes Mjolnir.
I mean, like there's something to be said about like she wasn't being powered up by
Asgard.
She can break
Asgard.
Mjolnir.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the Asgard.
She is still plenty strong enough to kill.
But she also wielded Mjolnir.
Yes,
before.
But there's still the whole factor of it being a horrifically durable weapon.
But it's not just it's. I mean, as explained in this movie, it's not necessarily a weapon, more a focusing device.
Also Jordan, for this, the reason they didn't die was because Loki's all like, oh shit, we're gonna die. Yeah. So he calls them to beam them out of there as soon as possible. Yeah. So I feel
that was hilarious.
So that was probably the reason why they live in the first place, because they couldn't really get a proper fight. Also in the finale, Thor loses that fight, and he has to tell Loki to, get that other dude to fight.
That's true.
Right.
For them. So I felt like the power scaling for this was one of the things they actually nailed pretty well. But
she wasn't trying to kill him the whole time. Like, she was kind of messing with him.
No, she was.
Parts.
She was totally trying to kill him. She's literally the goddess of death.
You don't throw knives at people just to, mess with them.
I don't...
Unless you're Loki.
Well, think about the part where she had him, by his throat and was kind of talking to him and just, soaking in the moment. She could have just slit his throat right there.
No, but they had to fulfill her ambition in the movie, which is do absolutely nothing except kill fodder.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, Michael. Yeah, she could have killed them. There are many opportunities for her to kill them, but it's a movie, so not allowed. Not allowed to have a competent villain.
I don't know.
I think it was.
Thought she was pretty competent. Mm-hmm. Even the there's no time for this.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good point either. We're almost at 50 minutes, so I think final thoughts, guys.
Fun out of 10.
Fun out of 10.
Yo, where was that other pretty chick from the other Thor movies? I missed her.
Yeah, she.
Which one?
Jamie Alexander.
She was apparently working in another production at the time, so she wasn't available. But I'm sure if she was, she would have also been killed just like everybody else.
Wonderful.
Yeah, but we'd have at least
Or she could have had a dope scene with Valkyrie, and then Valkyrie would have been like, oh, hey, got a new job for you.
Or they're explaining her away that she was on Earth with the Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because she has made appearances on the show.
I'm sure.
All right, so...
I watch it.
I think that is the last thing, unless there's any really pressing thoughts.
And that was the last we saw of Thor Ragnarok. Anyways, guys, I think that just about does it If you like this episode, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. We don't do any content anywhere near this.
Yep.
So this is a one-time deal. If you like tokusatsu, we got that.
Yep. Well, okay.
If you like anime, we got that sometimes.
We'll sometimes do movies, but this is big movies don't come out that often, so it's gonna be rare.
I was mostly referring to Western heroes, but there's a time and place for everything. Also, comment down below. Tell us what you thought about the movie. Tell us what you thought about our thoughts on the movie. What did you like about it? What did you disagree with it? And goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.